Hi Aries, I hope you're well. This is going to be your forecast for the upcoming new moon in Leo, which happens on the 19th of August 2020. So I've had a couple of, first of all, a chord chart on your cards, as well as a piece of copper, which I'm hoping is going to help to attract a little bit of abundance and good vibes when it comes to love into the messages that are coming through for this particular reading. It is worth saying that this particular new moon is a very positive new moon. There are a lot of positive aspects around it, so that's good. And Venus is now in Cancer and will be combining energies with the fixed star Sirius, which has been very active since the solstice solar eclipse, and of course was instrumental in bringing down the Lionsgate portal energies that recently closed. So hopefully some good vibes for you. Let's see what wants to come out. Also, just to let you know that I have redesigned these cards, so they're at the printers at the moment, and I'm waiting for them to be shipped. So hopefully soon we'll have some new clearer cards to work with on these geoscopes that will be easier to read. And for those who indicated that they were interested in purchasing some cards to go with their geomancy ebook, do get in touch. But I will also notify you when those are ready to order. There's a couple of things that I need to iron out first in terms of logistics and so on. So just bear with me, while I kind of sort all that out. But thank you so much to all of you for your likes, subscribes, and shares. The channel's started to grow, and I really appreciate all your support, your good karma donations, and your wonderful heartfelt comments and encouragement. So yes, thank you very much. Okay, I think that's a pretty good shuffle. Let's cut the cards and see what wants to come out. Right, so as we go into this particular new moon phase, which starts on the 19th, but lasts for 2 weeks, that is always worth bearing in mind. That's why I post twice a month, because each of the lunar phases has a kind of 2-week window. So this will last for 2 weeks from the new moon during the waxing moon cycle. So during this period, you have very much got your thoughts on collaboration, on union of some kind. This can be, marriage or coming together in terms of love, but equally it can be about collaboration, working with others, particularly one other person when it comes to, work projects. Wow. So in your 4th house of home and family, we've got Fortuna Major. Now this is the Sun in Leo, and of course we are in Leo season, and this is a Leo new moon. So lots of solar energy coming through, which I think is very fitting, given that so much of the Lionsgate portal and the recent energies have been focused around solar energies, the heart, the solar plexus, and so on. And I really feel as though you're going to be kind of radiating that wonderful, loving energy within the home, possibly doing more to kind of brighten it up. But I think also just enjoying being playful and just enjoying the company of loved ones. I think you're going to feel very fortunate in terms of the people that are around you, particularly people that you live with or that are connected to you via, in terms of blood ties. So yes, lots of fortune and success and happiness in the home. Wow, this is a fantastic looking reading here, Aries. So when it comes to committed partnerships, there does seem to be gain. So if you are looking for a long-term connection, or to sort of to come into union with your significant other, your divine counterpart, then this is looking very, very promising. We've got Acquisitio here. This is Jupiter in Sagittarius energy, so very, very expansive, positive energy. This is basically like karmic gifts almost. So if you have experienced a very difficult time, so say for example you're in a twin flame kind of dynamic, and there's been quite a lot of suffering and growth, it does look as though it's going to pay off, that you know, perhaps you're going to come back into union, or there's certainly going to be gain from all that soul growth that you've kind of undergone recently. When it comes to business partnerships, this also augurs very well. It does look as though anyone you collaborate with now is going to bring you financial gain. So that looks very, very positive. It looks too as though, you know, with Albus here in your 10th house, as though you may possibly be negotiating a contract of some kind. So this collaboration may well be a business partnership. Albus is Mercury in Gemini, so it's about writing, thinking, communications. It's also a blank sheet of paper. That's what Albus, the symbol for Albus is. And so this can be about contracts. It can also be about a fresh start when it comes to your career. So maybe you're thinking about a new project or heading in a new direction. And this, I think, augurs well, given that Mercury is going to be quite important. It's going to be keying into this particular new moon, because the Sun and the Moon will be making a conjunction to Mercury at the Leo new moon. So worth bearing in mind. But I'm just going to pause quickly while I do your conversions, and we will continue with reading in a minute. Hi Aries, welcome back. As you can see, I have remembered to put my Lemurian crystal in position. It's interesting because we only had we had kind of one Earth placement, didn't we, in that first set of cards? But anyway, it doesn't matter. Let's get into a reading. So this is looking really positive. I think it's fair to say that new moons are about fresh starts, and definitely Aries, this is about a fresh start for you, and it looks like a very positive fresh start. So let's dive in and find out more. So the new moon will be in Leo, which means the Sun and the Moon will both be on the same side of the Earth. So for you, that is 5th house, which is all about children, creativity, holidays, as well as new love affairs. So as I say, this could be the start of reconnection between you and a divine counterpart, a soulmate connection. But here I have to kind of issue a caveat, because we do have a Missio in the 5th house. Now, even though this is Venus, this is Venus in Taurus, generally speaking, this geomantic figure is it's about kind of loss or transience, or about something feeling unattainable. And we've got it reiterated here in your 3rd house. Now, this can be about communication, so I kind of feel as though this could potentially be with somebody that you are currently in no contact with. It could also be that something is out of alignment, and that you need to kind of come back into energetic alignment. You need to sort of take some steps yourself to come back into energetic alignment within yourself first, and that energy will then be mirrored, you know, within your relationships to other people. And the reason that I say that is because at the time of this particular new moon, we're going to be having a sextile between Venus and Uranus. This is about positive changes in love and creativity and money. So Uranus is going to be here in your it's going to be here in your 2nd house in Taurus, and Venus in Cancer will be in your 4th house. And although I think it's going to be working very well for you in terms of family relationships, I think if you want it to have kind of positive knock-on effects on love, then I do think you're going to need to make some shifts, make some kind of alignment shifts that are going to help you to come into union. Because at the moment, this energy suggests that your outlook, or the way your style of communication, is not really conducive energetically to kind of pulling in this person, to attracting this person, or allowing you to kind of come into alignment. And I'm just going to read you the keywords for a Missio, because it's one of those that's a little bit tricksy. You know, what I kind of feel is that with a Missio, there's sometimes you're out of alignment in the 3D. It's possible that you are already in alignment in the 5D, but to come into alignment in the 3D, there needs to be a shift. And if we look here, we've got a Missio again in your ninth house, which is the house of spirituality, beliefs, as well as people that are at a distance from you, you know, that could be in sort of like in a different country, or are of a different nationality. And I kind of feel as though there's something that's out of alignment, and that you need to shift your mental outlook and your beliefs into a more joyful, positive place, in order to sort of to make this happen. Now it's interesting because, you know, if we look at the images that are coming through from the channels, from the Lionsgate portal and so on, there's almost a split between what's happening in the 3D, which is very kind of dark and dense at the moment, but which I think is going to shift with this new moon, and then the 5D energy, which is really radiant, loving, beautiful, positive energy. And I think that's what the problem is that the 3D and the 5D are out of alignment. So that's why we're not seeing an alignment between the geomantic figures and the astrology, because for me the astrology is about the 5D, it's about the etheric. The etheric realm is quintessence, it's the fifth element, and the planets are the agents of this, because the planets are the agents of soul. They sit between the upper heavens of the fixed stars, so the star fields of the zodiac, and the 3D world here on Earth. So in order for that energy to come through into the 3D, we have to come into alignment. So I think that's an important message at this point. The other thing to say is that, more positively, that the sun and the moon will be making a conjunction to Mercury, and I think this is keying into this this energy that you've got quite a lot of in the reading, actually, quite a lot of Mercury energy. We've got conjuncture in your first house, we've got Albus in your 10th, we've got conjuncture repeated in your 11th house. Yeah, so Mercury is repeated 3 times in your reading, and I always think that that's worth bearing in mind. And then we've also got a new outcome. So I do feel that that this is going to be an important conjunction for you, and I think it's going to bring about news, movement, communication, all of those good things. So I think if when it comes to news and negotiations to do with business, I do see Mercury working for you in terms of a new contract or offer, a proposal being made to you that could take your career forward. And that's why we've got Acquisitio here, because there's some kind of working together with other people. And then we've also got conjuncture here in your 11th house, which is the house of friendships, professional associations, as well as social media and that kind of thing. So it could be that, you know, for the way that you work with others in terms of business may also have to do with online platforms. So it could be something, and that's why we've got Populous here in your 2nd house of income. So it could be using an online platform to enhance your business, to sort of add another revenue stream. And that could be something like Etsy. It could be one of those dog walking websites. It could be, you know, YouTube, something where there's a kind of it's a collective platform, a digital platform. So that's why we've got the social networking here. That is where a lot of people can use it. This is why we've got Populous here, but that which can sort of generate individual revenue streams, because we do have Acquisitio here, and we also got it in your outcome. So I definitely think that money is coming your way, and there's enormous gain, potentially in the works here. So very, very positive. So going back to this new moon, the new moon will also be making a trine to the 2 nodes at this, because the nodes are not in the same sign currently as the moon phases. They're slightly out of sync, just as the moon, the lunar phases are slightly out of sync with the solar phases, which is why we've got new moons currently at the end of the month and full moons at the beginning, because the solar cycle, which makes up our year, the solar months, are out of sync with the lunar months at the moment. So as I was saying, I feel that at the moment the 3D energy is slightly out of sync with the 5D energy, and that is just part of the kind of ongoing process of ascension at the moment, that there's this polarization at the moment between the sort of the 3rd and the 5th dimensions. But I think that that is going to be coming back into alignment, and we can do a lot to help that by getting into alignment ourselves from an energetic point of view. So anyway, it's interesting. So if you have, sometimes divine counterparts or significant others also are not necessarily romantic. They can be friendships. So, it could be that you are kind of coming back together with a friend at this time, and that's really a wonderful thing. Friendship is so kind of underrated, in today's world, and I think is so needed at the moment when people are feeling so isolated because of things like lockdown and social distancing. But anyway, going back to that new moon, we've got another. As I said, we've got this trine between the sun and the moon and Mercury, as well as to the lunar nodes. Now, the lunar nodes are currently in Sagittarius and in Gemini here, so highlighting this third ninth axis, which is where we've got these two emissios. In fact, it's interesting that we've got the three emissio geomantic figures kind of forming this triangle where we've got this trine between the sun and the moon, and then the nodes of those two, of basically where the sun and the moon cross. So this is kind of pointing to karmic cycles, new karmic contracts, and it's I think fair to say that the outcome of your reading is Caput Draconis, which is about new karmic cycles. So I really feel as though in order to get this energy to shift a little bit, what you're being called to do is to release things that are kind of leave-overs from karmic cycles that need to close out. So part of the process of ascension, according to people like what's her name, Doris, I can't remember her name now, but anyway, is that we need to, in order to ascend, we have to work through all the karma that we've accrued over various lifetimes. And so one of the ways to do that is to do a little kind of release with those people that are that you still feel locked into negative cycles with, where things haven't kind of worked out. So she sort of recommends kind of picturing the person, asking their higher self to kind of meet with you, and then just saying, listen, things haven't really worked out. I think we need to tear up this karmic contract, and then actually picture doing it, mean it, and then say, I forgive you, I release you, I let you go. I've been doing that quite a bit recently, and I can't tell you what amazing shifts have happened as a result, with certain relationships in particular. Things, people where things have just been really off center for quite a long time. Suddenly people are kind of coming into alignment, and all that kind of game playing and difficult dynamics just have disappeared. It's been incredible. So I do recommend that. I'll put a link in the description box to that video, which is Regina Meredith's interview with I can't remember her name now for whatever reason. The lady who does all the past life regressions, and who brought through all that information about Earth's ascension. But anyway, so I do feel that a new karmic contract is starting for you, and possibly, this is where you're going to start coming into right alignment with certain people, your soul tribe for one, and then possibly with romantic soulmates too. So that's really something to look forward to. But I do think strongly that that one of the things that this reading is talking about is a new business contract, because we've got Albus again here, which is in your 10th house of career, fame, and fortune, and we've got Acquisitor, which is in your 7th house. So I do think this is pointing to a potential business partnership or collaboration of some kind. And look, we've got Puer in the 8th house, which is fresh starts when it comes to joint ventures and shared resources. So here it's kind of echoing the 2nd house energy of populace. So, it could be crowdfunding, it could be venture capital, it could be some kind of joint venture where you kind of coming together with one other person, possibly for a creative venture of some kind, or something in the leisure industry or the arts, or sport, because the 5th house rules all of those things, or something to do with children, something aimed at children. All of those things look really, really positive. And then I'm trying to think what else is happening. So Venus is in Sirius in your 4th house. So I think home and family is going to go exceptionally well over the next 2 weeks, and that's why we've got Fortuna Major here, the sun in Leo. So really enjoy Leo season, because it chimes so well with your natural fire energy, Aries, that I think that you're going to find the second half of August is going to be really fantastic, you know, moving out of those troubled waters of the Mercury oppositions, as well as those Mars squares, and into much calmer, happier waters. So that's really good news. And in fact, look, we've got Veer here in your 12th house, which is about journey. So I almost feel like this is Six of Swords energy, that kind of boat that's moving out of choppy waters into calmer waters and towards better times, moving forward, moving on. So fantastic. And then we've got Capricornus here in your 6th house. So this is the house that is ruled by Virgo. And so this is echoing the outcome of your reading, which is Capricornus. And look, conjunctio is Mercury in Virgo. So I do think strongly that this particular collaboration could well be about a new start when it comes to work and business. So 6th house is about your work environment, is about work colleagues. It's also about jobs. It can be about your kind of everyday routine, your health, your schedule, that kind of thing. The things that you do on a day-to-day basis, you know, very Virgo, getting into the nitty-gritty, the details of life, the pragmatic. So there's fresh starts here, which means, you know, if you've been looking for a job, or you're keen to make a fresh start when it comes to certain habits, maybe introduce some healthier, you know, eating or what have you. This is looking very positive, and is echoing that new start, that fresh karmic start. So again, you know, this you'll kind of know based on your own natal chart where your north node is, but I would look at that because it will tell you, you know, where you're likely to be starting new karmic cycles, and what your sort of your soul purpose is all about here in this particular incarnation. But certainly, you know, very positive outcome. Acquisitio here, which is all about gain. As I say, if we look at the geomantic figure, it's about basically a purse and coins sort of falling into the purse. So it really is about, you know, that kind of almost like justice card, where, or the Six of Pentacles, where you know, what is that saying? Bread thrown on the water of life comes back threefold. So whatever work you've put in over the last few months in terms of, you know, trying to up level from an energetic point of view, from a karmic point of view, you know, trying to sort of put things right that have been out of balance, I think is really going to pay off now. So, I mean, that is wonderful. This is really a positive reading. Again, another one after that new moon in Cancer. And I think it's just reiterating the fact that for you, things are on the up now. I think between now and the end of this particular solstice cycle, that 6-month lunar eclipse, I mean solar eclipse cycle that started in June, I think this is, we might now at that halfway mark. And I think the first half was really about releasing a whole lot of stuff that was getting in the way, so that, and laying the foundations. And now I think you're going to be kind of seeing the positive sort of manifestation of those seeds that you sowed back in June at that solstice solar eclipse. So fabulous reading, really pleased for you, Aries. Do let me know in the comments, you know, how this has resonated for you. And if you've liked this reading, then I really appreciate if you hit the like button. To all of you who have shown me support over the last month or so, thank you very much. And yes, all the best, Aries, for the upcoming 2 weeks of this waxing moon cycle, and I'll catch you again in a fortnight for my full moon reading.